Game one, totally in control of Vici Gaming, and Rising Stars look to be doing quite the opposite of their name. Ready to fall down into the bottom of our standings, but they bounced back in game two and won in impressive fashion, flat out outmaneuvering and outplaying a very hot Vici Gaming squad and forcing this best of three, our second of the evening, to go the distance. Game three on the way right now. I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers, joined by Ben Merlini-Wu for the insight and analysis. And something we had talked a bit about during our last game, Ben, is, we're beginning to see a very clear tier of a very clear tier of heroes develop. Crystal Maiden, Clockwork, Naga Siren, Luna. You look at the bans, Visage, Elder Titan, Timbersaw, Viper. Is it just me, or is 6.79 made the game in some ways and in many ways more predictable instead of more chaotic?
10 seconds.
I still think it's more chaotic. Where's a Lich. We see DP pick now and then too. And we saw Nyx Assassin a lot last time. We see Luna picked up a lot. I don't know. I still think that it's still a while until the picks have yet to settle. It's still hectic.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're still seeing a lot of situational picks and so on and so forth. Chen, a hero who, depending on who you ask or what team you watch on what day of the week, is either really popular or sometimes just avoided entirely. Enchantress, we've seen her involved in a lot of matches as well. But really, heroes like Crystal Maiden and Luna, though, Clockwork in particular. Clock has had his heyday come and go a few times, looking all the way back to the time between TI2 and TI3. He was real popular with some teams and some players and kind of fell off again, kind of came back, kind of fell off. Luna in particular, though, seems to be, at least in terms of the hard carries, her and Anti-Mage have been seeing a lot of additional play. You'll occasionally see the Phantom Lancer pick up. We've already seen that tonight. But, it's fun to see as these teams continue to figure out exactly how this game is going to play out in the long term and post 6.79. Just which heroes do kind of rise to the top of the what cream rises to the top of the butter, other way around, I guess. In terms of popularity. And so far, a lot of mobility-based prioritization, especially in terms of support play. And in both game one and game two of the second series of the night, it really has been just how effective mobile roaming supports can be at their job that has determined who was ahead in the mid game and ultimately who won the late game.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the supports make or break the play in a lot of these games. Draft proceeding fairly slowly. Looks like Vici has banned out Viper. I think it's a very good ban. They couldn't do anything about it last game. Super couldn't find him for a mid, and he's definitely too difficult to kill, at least for their supports in the early game with Rubik and Shaker. So I think it's a good move by them. But still, just waiting to see how this draft develops.
Speaking of the Viper, it's funny. You go all the way back to DreamHack Summer, and I had the pleasure of being there and working with Draskell in the good studio, of course. And I spent some time talking to a lot of players and a lot of teams about, looking ahead at that point. It was looking ahead to TI3, which hero they felt was underutilized more so, at least in terms of how much he actually can bring to a team at that current state of things. And multiple times, multiple players from multiple different teams identified Viper as a hero that they thought was extremely problematic, that they wanted to begin to work into more of their lineups, and just hadn't. And they were, identified him as a hero they felt like could be very dangerous if teams began to really figure out how that hero works. And we've seen that come to pass a couple of times. We saw Burning play a really nice Viper in our first series, and, of course, CTY with an outstanding showing on the hero in game number 2. So a hero I suspect will continue to be very, very popular. As you said, the draft certainly taking its sweet time. Vici banning out the Chen and the Storm Spirit, not wanting to give Rising Stars the chance to do what they did so damn well in game 2, which is roam the map and just cut things up, just play a cut-up kind of a game where you take Vici out of their game plan by simply removing small pieces, getting a pick here and there, being able to counter gank really well. We saw a number of times where Vici would look like they were turning things around, but just because of superior positioning and movement of Rising Stars, they would take a situation where they had lost one or lost two and then go ahead and get one or two back just as Vici was retreating. And they're going to go ahead and grab the Earthshaker as well. Earthshaker, Crystal Maiden, a very potent combination.
They have the Clockwork on their side, though. So, I seen Earthshaker just fail versus Clockwork so many times. I still don't know why teams do it so often. But anyways, going back to Viper, the thing about him, he's just very easy to play. Like corrosive skin, you take damage and something happens. Whoop-de-doo. Nether toxin, you focus slow heroes and something happens, which you're supposed to be doing anyways. And his ultimate is 12-second cooldown. You can just spam it. It doesn't matter. It's up in 12 seconds anyways. You can cast it on BKB. You can cast it on non-BKB. Very effective either way. And then his poison attack you can have on auto cast, and it just works on heroes you click. So it's like very easy to execute. There's no like real finesse with the hero. You're just like tanking damage, doing damage, and I think he's just a little bit too easy to play. He's like way easier than Skeleton King, I'd say even.
Oh yeah, definitely. I really like the dual core lineup the Vici's built already. When I look at this lineup from Vici, I see a team that is very survivable. Dragon Knight by nature, once he pops Elder Dragon form, has a little bit of bonus move speed. Of course, the Dragon's Blood makes him very, very hard to bring down early on. Luna tends to build a survivability-based build early on. Will usually rush a BKB, tends to really prioritize just being able to get herself out of trouble. Then, of course, Naga Siren with the reset button that is Song of the Siren. So Rising Star is going to be tested here. I mean, we've seen how well they can work whenever they're all on the same page. And if there's anything that I really think stood out in Game 2 in comparison to Game 1, Game 1, Rising Stars just kind of had this sloppy, kind of slapdash feel to them. They got some things accomplished, but it was never very clean. And when they came out of the other side, secondary and tertiary objectives just weren't really a part of the equation. Whereas in Game 2, it was completely the opposite. And now, though, up against the Naga, up against the Luna, up against the Dragon Knight, heroes that are not going to fall very easily and which can show up to fights and do considerable amounts of damage early on, they're going to have to be even more on their toes in terms of executing that kind of a game plan. They do secure their late game, though, grabbing up the Morphling.
Morphling. Wow. I'm very surprised they picked Morphling. Morphling is a hero that we just haven't seen very much of since TI2, and after that really huge nerf. I don't remember what patch it was, but he got hit with the nerf stick super hard.
Oh, yeah.
He's good in terms of like he's mobile, but he can actually waveform out of net, so that's pretty useful. But he does have to worry about like Dragon Knight stun. He can't really go shotgun because Luna can just absolutely crush him with Eclipse. So I think he's going to need a BKB this game, but that'll leave him susceptible to the Naga Siren focus down too. He needs a Linken's too. He needs a lot of farm this game.
I'd like to see him grab a Manta. Early Manta, I think, would help him in a number of ways. Vici grabs the Windrunner up, another survivability, mobility-based hero, and I just feel like this is a nice counter draft to what Rising Stars is putting together. I mean, you see the Crystal Main, the Earthshaker, the Clockwork, three heroes that want to fight often, or if they don't, they wind up in the same situation we saw Vici in last game. Morphling can contribute pretty well. Like, Morphling's one of those weird heroes that has this brief window of timing whenever his stat morph is still very, very good in terms of it giving him additional survivability. He can get a little bit ahead and just morph a lot of stats into agility and have some nice right click a little bit earlier. And then, of course, waveform, a nice AoE magic nuke. But then he falls off kind of hard. He's like Gyrocopter that way. He gives you a set amount of things early on, and then he does begin to fall off and has to farm his way back into relevancy in the mid game, or in the late game, I should say. So with their composition as it is, though, they're going to have a lot of damage they can output in a big old AoE. And Vici's positioning going to be of utmost importance.
Yeah, most certainly. Then they have a pretty difficult to execute lineup, I'd say. They always have reset with Song of the Siren, though, so that's going to be a huge boon to them if someone manages to get hit with hookshot. Just Song of the Siren, run in, BKB, and own them. That should be their team fight plan once they get their BKBs. But are they going to be able to survive until then without taking many casualties? CM, Earthshaker, not the best roaming duo, but compared to Vici's Naga with, I don't really know who it's going to be. I guess we might see Windrunner offlane, Luna safe lane, Dragon Knight mid, and Naga Siren plus, I'm trying to figure out who's it going to be.
At this point, I'm kind of with you. I mean, they've got three heroes in the Windrunner, Luna, and Dragon Knight who all want some semblance of farm. I mean, Luna and Dragon Knight, obviously, the two number one priorities, most likely running out of the 1 and the 2 position to begin with. But a Windrunner likes to have a force staff, likes to get a mech up. She'll certainly be the mech carrier this game. So, she's going to need a little bit of farm priority as well. Rising Stars grabs up the Razor with their 5th position. And Mirana going to round things out for Vici. Again, a hero predicated on mobility and survivability using Moonlight Shadow, I should say, to initiate as well as to just break off fights, forces Rising Stars to have one more thing to account for. But I really like the draft on both sides. I feel like Rising Stars, though, again, their lineup versus this of Vici, Morphling is going to need some room. They've got the tools to make that room for them, but they're going to have to execute as well in Game 3 as they did in Game 2.
The Razor pickup's pretty good. It'll match up very well versus Super, and Super was very effective Storm in game one, not a very effective Weaver in game two, and a lot of that had to do with simply the matchup. Weaver versus Viper. Viper just gets another toxin, outlast system, and harasses very effectively and get Crow's skin in case he plays aggressively at all. So, like, if they can shut him down last game or this game, especially with a very lopsided matchup, I think Razor has a very big edge against most melee heroes. Then Vici is going to have very difficult time because Super is their tempo controller. He is a fantastic DK. I think his DK is better than his Weaver, and his Storm is probably slightly better than his DK too. So they really need a lot of them. He was just able to like split push last game. I think he's much better at like forcing fights here and there and just being the tempo controller that way, as opposed to like a split push player like Anti-Mage or a split push hero like Nature's Prophet or Weaver.
Yeah, and it kind of comes down to something we talked about with Super. You know, he's not a high-risk, high-reward kind of a guy. He's a guy who tends to fit into the framework of what a team wants to do, and it manages to do his job and do it exceptionally well. It's why he's quietly one of the better mids you're going to see, and certainly one of the most consistent. But by nature, split pushing is kind of high-risk, high-reward. You have to decide if you're willing to take the chance to overextend whenever you maybe only have incomplete or partial information, so on and so forth. And it just doesn't fit his style. It doesn't fit what makes him the memorable player we all know and love. But looks like a little bit of dancing around in the Radiant side jungle, but not a ton. Ward's going to go down. We'll run through the lineup, see who's handling who. ROTK, who has really played fairly well in most of these games. He'll be playing on the Windrunner this time. Luna going to be handled by Sylar. Naga Siren will be played by Fenrir, trying to bounce back from a really unimpressive performance in game number 2. DK, as anticipated, will be taken mid by Super, with Mirana, the 5th and final pick, played by FY. Now, she's going to have a lot of things that are going to allow her to hit arrows and snare, dragon tail, so on and so forth, even a shackle, if that's the lead off. So FY's play going to really dictate a lot of success or failure on the side of Vici, especially in the mid game. On the other side of the river, Earthshaker going to be handled by QQQ. King J will be playing on our Clockwork Goblin once again. CTY, who had a great game in game 2 on that Viper, this time going to be looking...
Just to pot him from behind with DD. CTY has to watch out. They spotted him out, though.
Knows it's coming, and FY continuing to hang around. Looks like he will go ahead and back off, at least for the moment. Yeah, we'll go ahead and head back to lane. But CTY on our electrifying Razor up at top. King J might be in some trouble here. And let's see. Nope. There's the ensnare. Here they come. Sylar up. Arrow will be off the mark. So
they have to pay attention to where the creep wave is. If there's no creep, he probably dies. But I think FY was a little bit too far away too. If he catches the CM too, he's CM's actually probably going to die too. He didn't have enough mana for a third frostbite. Already using 200 centaurs. So it looks like Rising Stars is getting a little bit ahead in this very, very early game. But it's only 1 minute in.
So finish things out, our Morphling going to be farmed up by Miracle. Had a really nice game in game 2 as well, with Crystal Maiden, played by XDD, just short of level 2. Here we go. King J in trouble. One last auto attack, not enough. XDD was there to ward them off, so little trading in the paint. First blood still remains up for grabs.
Yep, double clarity goes. If they push out this wave, though, King J could be in a lot of trouble, or even XDD if he gets caught out. So the players on Rising Stars really have to watch their positioning. Super in mid, though, gets
Super taking a little bit of damage. We see QQQ did rotate through, but once again, no harm, no foul. Stays alive. CTY using his salve on himself. Looks like he actually got off a really nice static link as well, stealing 100+ damage. There's going to be a haste rune grabbed up by QQQ, and here we go. He's going to move on down to bottom. This could be some very bad news for ROTK. He's got 1 point in the win run, though, and trying to juke it out. Fissure on the wrong side of him. So QQQ, don't know that it would have mattered that much. 2 points in the waveform. They might have been able to track him down. In the meantime, Fenrir manages to get first blood at top, so give Vici that lead after all.
Yep, he can't play up that far, not with CM all the way in the back. He already almost died with CM there, so he's definitely going to die without her there. He has to be very, very careful. They have plenty of clarities too on the side of Vici and with FY and Fenrir. It's really important that they had clarities. If they don't, then I think they needed 3 attempts to kill him, and that's a lot of mana for Naga Siren, especially after the 6.79 nerf. CTY dominating mid 14-5 to 9-0. Super's not actually doing as bad as I thought he was, especially with the rotation from the Earthshaker. Earthshaker looks like he's just creep pulling and messing with ROTK.
ROTK, though, getting some good levels, and really with Windrunner, depending on what you want out of her, again, she's a hero who really does benefit a lot and really needs some farm. Hold on, King J ensnared and followed up with the Sacred Arrow, the cogs, preventing a lot of damage from going off. Not enough mana for a Lucent Beam on Sylar after that, and that might have cost him another kill, the fact that he ran smack into the cogs and lost that bit of mana.
And on the bottom lane, I'm surprised that ROTK isn't just chilling over here and getting experience from the Ancients. With that 6.79 unit, I think, I mean, he's just like sitting around the tower looking for denies, but that's much less effective than soaking up half of what Earthshaker is going to get. Earthshaker's still a little bit behind, 2.5, but he is checking runes for CTY. Meanwhile, on the top lane, FY checking runes. Let's see where it spawns.
A little bit of damage done from Morphling to the Windrunner. The rune up, that will be an invis. FY sitting at just level 2.5. Might want to try to make something happen with it. No stun.
He's just out of range of the ward too. If you look at this observer ward, he's like just out of the range, so they can probably bait a kill out with this.
And here we go. Super eats the frostbite. There's the invis. Super manages to land the dragon tail. CTY is there. Sacred Arrow actually not even needed. Whiffed there. CTY should ensnare from the low ground. Doesn't matter. He's lost all of his damage. Can FY track it down? One more auto attack was canceled. That'll do it. One arrow through the woods. Very fine line between an escape and a kill that time, but FY threaded it perfectly. They're not done. King J rotating over, drop the cogs. Fenrir looking for safety as he ducks through. Want to run right into an Earthshaker.
Nice block.
And can't go anywhere except back to the well in a body bag. Make it 3-2-1. Vici's movement here in Game 3, reminiscent of Game 1, and Rising Stars finds themselves in a hole early.
That was a really good play by Depotum there, just like sitting right outside of range. I don't know if she knew that they had a ward there, but I think she thought that they might, and just baiting Crystal Maiden come out and baiting Razor to come out too with low HP to fight there. Really good play, and Vici came out way ahead on that exchange. Killing Razor and Crystal Maiden in exchange for a support Naga who already has her boots. That was a very big win for Vici, and CTY is actually forced to go Tranquil boots this game instead of Phase. And this is not the same start that he had last game, and he's not going to snowball out of control.
No, not at all. I mean, his farm's good.
Smoking.
Sitting at 26, almost doubling up that of Super. I'll tell you what, just think how different this Earthshaker play by QQQ feels compared to Fenrir's Earthshaker in Game 2. He is everywhere on the map. We have seen him just make an appearance everywhere at some point or another trying to make something happen. And he's
Fenrir might die. Oh, they popped out the smoke. That's so lucky by Fenrir, though.
And saw Fenrir poke his nose up, like you said, popping the smoke that time. Didn't see if the Morphling was going to engage or not. In the meantime,
CTY.
Caught out in the river. There's a Sacred Arrow to follow it up. Such a great combination. The long duration Dragon Tail stun, even at level 1, showing how powerful it is in conjunction with Sacred Arrows. They managed to kill off the Razor again, 4-1 now.
Again, it's the same thing with the supports. Like the bottom support, 3-0-1, being involved in a lot of kills, killing Razor twice. This is just really all about a support play in between these two teams. I think they're like fairly evenly matched into other lanes. Miracle versus ROTK in mid lane, Super versus CTY. But it just really comes down to movement, how effective they are in the kills. Like CM010, she has Arcane Aura, she had a very fast level 2, but not really being able to do anything compared to the Lina last game.
Can they catch Super? Nope. Oh, Fissure at max range. Fenrir's there. They're going to re-engage on the XDD way too far out. And just flat out gave a free one away that time. I don't think he or anyone else really expected that Fissure to hit. Then when it did, just overextended, not anticipating the movement out of Fenrir. So Vici just firing on all cylinders. Super going to be caught with a static link, but no dive out of CTY despite sucking 63 damage up.
Is he going to be able to last hit with 8 damage? That is a real question. Oh, wow, look at that. 8. Wow. Oh, no, he actually got strength shreds, so he got a little more. He's cheating. That's some real hard mode right there.
He's in the double damage, man. Up and top, King J. Caught out. XDD there to try and get a little return damage done, but Vici's just picking him apart, man. There's really no other way to say it, and this is what we knew it was going to come down to. When we saw their lineup, Vici has such a good lineup at working in tandem with each other. Rising Stars has a very roam-centric lineup that just has not had the success they hoped it would.
And one thing I'm a little bit worried about for them is their playstyle is really predictable.
Yeah.
They put a lot of pressure on mid. They put a lot of pressure in their triple lane. They just leave ROTK like absolutely alone. Looks like he may die here. Nope. And I think that teams will be able to take advantage of that in the future. So although they're doing well in this game, I think that if teams analyze the replays and see what kind of lineups they like to pick and what where the supports roam, I think it'll be very easy to counter. XDD gets picked off on top again. Man, this CM just 0-3-0. Poor CM. No Midas coming out for her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boots,
What? No, you can't. How you gonna say no minus, dude? 30-minute minus on CM. We've seen it. It's fine. Rising Star is really just being picked apart. There's no other way to say it. They're about to lose the tower, but trailing 3,000 gold before the first tower even really took any significant damage really tells the story of how this game has gotten out of control. They're going to go down another 1,000 here or so. At 9 minutes in, trailing close to 4,000, if not right at 4,000, and they're getting out leveled. The levels on the support's going to make a huge difference. Poor XDD, just level 3.5. The Shaker not in much better shape, sitting at 4. And if we take a look at the rest of the levels, by far they're the lowest.
TJ trying to turn things around. He may get a hook shot on ROTK, and it whiffs.
Whiffed it at bottom, and the Morphling was there just in case. But, yeah, I mean, they're just getting out-leveled, outplayed, and out-golded. Even the net worth beginning to separate itself out at this early stage.
And we see teams actually punishing the Earthshaker pull very heavily because he's on the opposite side of the map.
Yep.
From where a lot of the action is. Like, all the action has been on top. QQQ is probably going to die. Ooh. Arrow misses, but Siler with his fast move speed, no, he's actually not going to go for it. But they just take advantage of Earthshaker. They have one support, which is Crystal Maiden, trying to get stuff happen, and then Vici has the Naga Siren and the Potom trying to make stuff happen. So who's going to win out? 2 supports versus 1 support, and it's not like they're not picking up levels too. Naga Siren almost level 6, and Potom already level 6 compared to level 4 Earthshaker and level 4 Crystal Maiden. So they're not lacking in terms of levels. The only person who really suffers because of that is ROTK, but ROTK hasn't died yet. He's Windrunner. He's somewhat effective without items, and he'll do well with items if given the opportunity, but it's not like he absolutely has to have a 4-staff. We've seen support Windrunners with like brown boots and observer wards and absolutely nothing to their name do quite effectively.
Oh yeah, so long as you're hitting your shackles, it's one of those things. I mean, you're going. It levels help so much more than items in the early game for a Windrunner, just because of how much damage you actually can do with power shot if it's well placed. And shackle, of course, again, if you're hitting your shackles, you're in good shape. You're going to be contributing to your team's success.
FY with that Midas too.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't there be a Midas? The right now, Rising Stars is playing very defensive. We could see them perhaps looking to make something happen in mid as King J's going to be looking for a hook. It's off cooldown, and it takes a peek up the river. So far, though, Super looks to be the target and will be. Hook connects. Down go the cogs. He's got help behind him. There's a shackle that catches King J out, and Naga Siren sleep will buy Super enough time to get out. He had 168 damage drained. Are they going to try to fight this? They sure are. King J cleaned up with one more power shot. Fenrir will get off the ensnare. Shackle doesn't latch, but Breathe Fire doing significant damage. ROTK's right there to make it a double kill. Super almost caught out with a fissure that time. Earn charge on CTY, chipping away. Siler, one loosened beam with one good power shot. Enough to kill off CTY, and it has just not been his game. Now QQQ tracked down through the woods, likely to die under his own tier 2, and will. 11-1, Vici is utterly dominating and running away with this game short of 12 minutes.
What a fantastic Naga Siren ultimate. That's the problem with a lot of initiators versus Naga Siren. If you initiate on someone other than Naga Siren, then you're going to lose the fight. And it's if the Naga Siren positions herself appropriately and it's just out of range of initiation, then you're gonna win the fight anyways. So it's just so difficult to play against the Naga Siren. This is why we see her banned a lot. Even with the nerf, it's just not enough. Oh, there they go. Long range hook shot. King J picks Fenrir off.
Fenrir, last man out. Last man, first man to drop, I should say. Finally, Rising Stars doubles their kill total, taking it to 2, but Siler already making great progress towards his BKB. He's got an Ogre Club, his Mithril Hammer already done when he wants it, and only about another 1,000 gold until he's got Magic Immunity to count on. The Windrunner, handled by ROTK, he's really played well. He's got that 4-staff up phase and his bottle already up as well. We'll see if and when he wants to start work on a mech. Speaking of mech, Razor's completed his, so CTY not off to the best start, but at least contributing what he can. He's sitting at 59 CS. The trouble is, the Dragon Knight, who was falling behind significantly early, is now up right behind him at 51.
And the Rising Stars has a small window of opportunity right now when they have the mech up and Vici doesn't. They also have the arcane boost on Earthshaker, which is much different than last game. Sylar gets picked off on bottom. Just yeah, King J didn't even have to hook shot, so I don't exactly know how he got caught out there, but Sylar cannot die on Luna, not without his BKB up, and they won't even get anything out of it either.
Yep.
So like the gold lead is 6,000, 5 or 6,000, but Rising Stars is definitely not out of this game, especially if Sylar doesn't complete his BKB in a reasonable time.
Yeah, can't be losing Sylar, like you said. Well, you see, just over the last minute or two, there has been a slight din made. So, I mean, Vici in danger of running away with this game and certainly in control. But, like you said, Rising Stars they're down, but not quite out. The Morphling's actually farming quite well, as we can see. He's up near 2,800 gold now.
And Song of Siren up in 10 seconds. They will scout him out with a rocket flare and will back off. Sylar has his Mithril Hammer, just about 1,000 gold. They should definitely wait for that if they want to force a 5-on-5. They already have the top T1 down and the mid T1s, so Vici can just play passive a little bit, just farm it up, get some more key items. If they really want to get a gank, just get super initiated. He already has his Power Treads, he already has his Shadow Blade. Just look for solo picks on heroes, probably not Razor. If they can burst him down before mech, I guess that's okay, but it's really on QQQ. QQQ has to be in a good position with Earthshaker to prevent ganks.
The level 2 Elder Dragon form going to let Vici take towers so much more easily. I mean, the poison effect on the auto attack's one thing, but now having it in an AoE makes it hard to even stand and try to contest towers unless you're...
It's the shotgun build.
Is it really? Yeah, he's picked up his Ghost Scepter.
I don't think it's the right build. Not versus a DK, not versus a Luna.
Yeah,
but
heroes are going to have BKBs to begin with.
Yeah, and the long duration stun and the magic damage, both of them have pretty significant magic damage, so QQQ.
Caught out, blown up, and there's that power shot. ROTK has just been playing sniper, more or less, on this Windrunner. Has really been on the mark with his shots, too, and just look how quickly it's deceptive, just how much damage over time the poison effect on Elder Dragon form can do at levels 1 and 2.
But I think that's Mad Deeps.
Mad Deeps?
Mad Deeps. Deals 20 damage per second for 5 seconds, so an extra 100 damage.
Yep, every shot. Every shot. Anyway, 12-3, there's a Sacred Arrow. Oh, caught the creep. The creep pulled the bodyguard routine. That would have been disgusting if that had connected. They might have been able to engage off of it. King J was there, though, and the rest of Rising Stars. In the meantime, though, Super just continuing to farm away. He's got 1,400 gold towards his BKB and has that Shadow Blade.
Yeah, Rising Stars just kind of forced to play pretty far back right now. QQQ got caught out of position. This is the same problem as last game, too. He died a lot on Crystal Beta. I think like 6 to 8 deaths were to him. He cannot be caught out of position with Earthshaker, not when they're this far behind. Just has to stay like slightly far enough back so that he can counter-initiate with Fissure, but he also can't get caught by Song of Siren. He can't get caught by a DK Sun or a Shackle. It's just a tough life for Earthshaker. This hero without Blink is just not very useful, which is why I don't really like him as a pickup. I think he's a good support, but only if you get ahead early.
Well, taking a look at how things have panned out in the first 15, we can see the two big winners, Mirana and Windrunner, 4-0 and 3, 4-0 and 0 respectively. Tell you what, there's a lot of female characters on this on the board this game. In fact, 4 of them, if you count Naga Siren, just on the side of Vici, which is always fun to point out. But moving on, Rising.
Smoke gank.
Yep.
KJ looking for a hook.
BKB done on Luna in the meantime. The smoke going to loop through the dire side jungle. In the meantime, very defensive positioning from Vici. Looks like nobody's going to be home for Rising Stars.
Yeah, their wards are not in a very good place right now. They have this ward out right here to see if they scout the push, but it's very rare that people are going to be like pushing up here alone, which is when what they need to find. Like someone might like push up to this wave alone, like we see Super like right about to do, and I think they would be much better off having as a reward there.
Sylar and company moving out of their own jungle now under cover of smoke. They realize what's going on. Looked like they were flirting with the idea of Roshan here in mid, though. Super serving as that bait. He's got a haste rune if needed. Doesn't look like they will. Vici will go ahead and turn north. Eclipse at level 2 as Sylar is level 11. And this could get ugly. Morphling has a replicate up if he needs to replicate out. And the rest of Rising Stars, looks like they might get away. Just heard the arrow go out. There's a shackle. Won't connect. The Sacred Arrow was off the mark as well. Here comes Super. Fissure destroys things a bit. There's the hook in. BKB's up. And the Eclipse chewing through CTY. King J going to be next on the list if Super manages to make it out. That's 2 down for nil. And let's see, are they going to take the tier 2 and then Roche, or are they just going to, yep, looks like they're going to go ahead and grab the tower. No reason not to.
Yep, nice BKB by Luna made all the difference in that fight. XDD almost gets picked up by Arrow. QQQ gets caught out again.
Use the Echo Slam. Use it or lose it, I reckon. Doesn't matter at this point, Vici. Really, and whenever you begin to feel this kind of thing, a lot of it has to do with levels, but just having those extra little bit of items on your team, the extra bit of mobility, extra bit of survivability, the Ogre Club on Super, Fenrir having up an urn, so on and so forth, just makes you feel like you could just walk over top of the other team, and that's definitely how it feels right now. Morphling, though, has finished his Death Blade, so we'll see if he can change that up with a little shotgun action.
Yep, he might pick off Siler right here. Morphing into Agi right now, 530 HP. So his nuke, what, 150 times 2, so 375. And I don't think he'll do enough. We'll see. Oh, when he's that low, yep.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Now they know.
Easy kill.
Yep, packing his double-barreled shotty, walking around looking for trouble. And 15-4, very nice kill for them to get. However, they have yet to be able to stem the tide in terms of gold and experience. The experience getting up towards 7,500 advantage, in advantage of Vici Gaming, and now very near 10,000, near 5 digits for Vici. Rising Stars is playing this out okay. It feels like they just gave away too much too early.
Yeah, Marana is going Yules, it looks like. Yule, or it could be a Lincoln Sphere. Let's see what item she has coming towards her. But Yules is not that uncommon, I guess. You can Yules and then hit into a very safe arrow if they don't have BKBs. Pretty useful versus a hero like Morphling, who is generally very hard to lock down. We see a smoke come out, Super will pop it out, and they drop a sentry for him. But Super, being the safe player he is, just simply runs away. His BKB is up in about 600 gold, and what do they really have for his BKB? Razor is decent, but he's not tanky enough to just run in the front and just anti-BKB. He needs a BKB himself, but he's pretty far away.
At this point, I mean, just to give an indication, hold on, there's a Sacred Arrow. Not going to connect on anything. Toss it out just for scouting purposes, but take a look at the net worth. Essentially, at this point, Vici is running a 4-core lineup. The Marana is fairly well farmed and has a minus. Windrunner and Luna even on farm, with the DK actually the highest on the board. Then you look at the 2 supports, the Earthshaker and the Crystal Maiden. Together, their farm barely equals the Naga Siren, the poorest hero on the side of Vici. So they're just, I mean, yes, a lot of it has to do with kills, but even just mechanically, they're just finding ways to maximize what they have available to them in ways that Rising Stars is just unable to match and unable to answer.
Yeah, even with a shotgun kill on Luna, not even a dip in the gold graph, just continuously going in favor of Vici. Approaching 11,000 at this point. If they pick off King J and get his tower, that's going to be like 15,000.
BKB done on Super now, so rich get richer. King J able to dodge out the shackle. They should get the tower for free, though, as, Rising Stars with no one in position. They're certainly not about the TPN. That would
Siler might die here.
Might be a death sentence, and Siler chased out. There's going to be a fissure to lock him down. Hook's actually shot in front of him. Looks like the fissure disjointed the timing there from King J, trying to lead him just a little bit, and ended up missing just wide. BKB done on DK in the meantime, as that tower does end up dropping.
They could try and force a Roshan pretty soon. It's not the greatest position for them because of Earthshaker and Clockwork Cog, but they do have Song of Siren to fall back on. They have a very offensive Observer Ward here. They'll know if they're coming, and they have the arrow and the disables to do it. But do they have the damage? It's going to be very, very slow. Looks like Marana actually is going for a Lincoln's instead of a Yule's. King J almost gets hit by an arrow on bottom.
And King J just hanging around. There you go. There's a Dragon Tilt lead out of the Shadow Blade. Damage might be there. Sacred Arrow up in 5 seconds if he wants to spin it. There's an Ensnare and the Shackle, not even needed. Freezing Field channeled for about a second. Don't know that it's going to matter, and it won't, as they manage to track them both down. In the meantime, Siler did end up dropping over in this other lane. Didn't even see how, but nonetheless, they may be able to push up to the tier 3 off of this. Arrow thrown out, swings wide of CTY. Nope, not feeling confident enough to do it by themselves.
Luna looks like he just got shotgunned. Siler just needs to BKB TP when that happens. I don't know why he doesn't have a TP scroll on him, but I mean, he can probably just BKB and run away to that effect. Morphling should not be having this easy of a time. Siler should just be 5-manning with him, get the Aegis, push, and it's pretty simple. Clockwork just gets picked off. I don't know what King J was thinking when they already shot the arrow. Super looks like he's gonna get another pick on QQQ.
QQQ halfway down. There's the Sacred Arrow. Shotgun on ROTK, enough to clean it up with a little help from Clockwork. So they go 1-for-1, Windrunner in exchange for the Earthshaker. That's a pretty decent trade for Rising Stars. Problem is, VG might be able to get a Roshan off of it.
Yep, Earthshaker responds in just 10 seconds, though. They do not want to fight without their mech bear. I don't think it's a good fight for them to take. Maybe when Windrunner revives, they can, but it's going to be pretty risky. They already have vision up there with Clockwork. Vici playing with fire right here.
And they are going to go ahead and vacate. I like that call a lot. Like you said, the Windrunner.
If they pick off Miracle right here, it's going to be an easy Roshan.
Even aside from what the Windrunner gives you in terms of her skill set, just not having the mechanism alone makes it tough to confidently take a group fight. She is going to be here now. And Sacred Arrow once again splits the wickets. No target to be found. Here comes our OTK. Moving around through the jungle. They've got Roche down to about half health. They know what's going on.
Naga Siren too. They have very good vision. They're able to take that Observer with the gem. They're fully prepared for Rising Stars coming in. Looks like they won't even contest.
ROTK way up in front. They're going to go ahead and use the Moonlight Shadow and vacate out. So Siler finds himself an Aegis. ROTK has eyes on CTY. Has a bit of damage done, but here comes the rest of the team as FY leads the charge. Just heard a shackle, and in the meantime, yep, there's the Sacred Arrow to follow it up. Fisher buys a little bit of time, but with its snare to follow it, just no way to keep the Razor up. And Razor, not only, again, a hero you want to have for obvious reasons, their mech bear. Now the tier 3's very, very well exposed, and no buyback on Razor.
I think they should have fissured and or cogged earlier. They knew that CTY got picked off, but they're unable to delay the push. They didn't delay the push as long as possible so Razor can revive. They've already popped a glyph, but Super getting close to beat up on that tower. Oh, Super may die if there was a fissure. Oh, he just BKB'd. Hook shot?
Oh, he actually missed it.
You kidding me? King J, what are you doing, bro?
Oh, there's the Eclipse. And Siler leading the charge. Shackle off of his own illusion. Can they get up in time to bring him down? Echo Slam does next to nothing. Here comes CTY fresh off the respawn, though. And Miracle using the shotgun build to pretty solid effect. Sacred Arrow misses at point blank. They're going to pursue them all the way out to the river. And Windrunner trying to be cute. Basically sacrifices her own life there. Threw out the shackle and got blown up because of it. But the level on Miracle's actually getting a bit out of hand. He's up to level 17 now.
Yeah, they're giving him a lot of opportunities. I mean, the kills from Siler are like really adding up right now, and he's gonna have his Lincolns too. So all they need to do is just DK stun him, boom, dead, or shackle him, boom, dead. Especially when he doesn't have any defensive items. But once he gets his Lincolns, he's gonna be way more difficult to kill, and this is starting to become slightly problematic for VG. If they have anything to pop it, like a Force Staff or a Lucent Beam, but Miracle's playing his shotgun build very, very well. I thought it wasn't going to be effective because Vici will be prepared. They'll just save a stun for him, but they have not been reacting very well to it, especially Siler, who has kind of just died twice to him. One time he didn't really know King J actually is down here. Is he going to get picked off?
Shackle will not latch, however. Cogs go down. Siler taking a bit of damage. Right clicks there. And one last arrow, that'll do it. Shot it from downtown and managing to bring him down for another 30 seconds. Taking a look at the net worth now. We can see.
It's probably on tilt from that.
I would be too. But net worth, the DK Super's actually keeping pace with Miracle fairly well here. And DK, since he's been run mid so frequently over the last 6 months or so, it's easy to forget that late game, if he gets ahead and he stays on par and ends up just, outclassing every other hero as a carry would, he's actually pretty disgusting late game with his level 3 Elder Dragon form. And he's going to have that maybe by the end of this wave. It's going to be close. Now, he's just short of level 16, but he will have level 3 Elder Dragon form very soon.
Looks like they're going to pressure this. Still 2.5 minutes on Glyph. They have the Aegis on Siler. It's going to expire in 3 minutes. Plenty of time to take on this T3 if they want to force it. King J does not have hookshot over 13 seconds.
Super shotgun down again. King J still waiting on the hook, as you mentioned. ROTK was actually cut off quite well by a nice fissure coming out of RES.
They need to earn. They need to earn Super up after the engage. Now, like, someone's very, very vulnerable to a shotgun. It's up to 15 seconds. They can't really push because ROTK may die. We see Super that may die too, and they can't really pop BKB just to prevent a shotgun.
They're going to go ahead and pull back once again. Siler getting closer to his Manta style. We'll have the ultimate orb up momentarily. FY very close to his Lincoln Sphere as well. Essentially has it done now. But the gold continues to be right on that same pace. 500 gold per minute lead generated by Vici Gaming since the horn blew. 14,028 minutes their advantage.
And they're doing a good job of turtling it up, and that's exactly what they need to do. They need to blink on QQQ. Still not going to come for a while. They have a war to spot out our Miracle. He has the gem, though. They should not have fed him that gem. It's going to be increasingly difficult to kill him when they can't sneak up on him with the Dragon Knight.
And BKB, they're going to turn and try to engage onto Miracle. He will replicate away. So, Siler and company.
He should not have BKB there. He has Aegis. What's he scared of? If he waves form in, the dude is either, like, the Aegis is going to go away in 1 minute anyways, or he's going to die. So, or the Morphling is going to die. So, total waste of BKB there.
As this game goes later, I feel like so much more emphasis is going to be on CTY than before. I mean, obviously they're relying on Morphling to be their late game damage dealer, their late game carry.
Almost kills Super.
Yeah, saw that. Got there in time just to see him running away, BKB'd and Shadowbladed.
Siler, he has his Aegis. It's going to expire in 50 seconds. Looks like he'll be safe.
King J drops the cogs, and Song of the Siren is there. Siler actually runs into the cogs and should be able to exit out here. And, oh, the hook's actually going to be off the mark again. Shackle, no, going to bounce off the Lincolns. There's the Eclipse. QQQ will be cleaned up with a couple shots of Eclipse. In the meantime, Luna continuing to play very bravely despite being so low health. Yep, and that's what we knew was going to happen. The Aegis will be popped. And now
he doesn't have Replicate for 50 seconds. This may be the break that they're looking for.
Yep. Trying to morph his stats. Do they have the damage output with King J there? Lincoln's popped. He's going to waveform away. Here comes Siler. BKB up off the fresh life. They will get King J almost certainly. And that's going to be FY just continuing to do work. Might get XDD. In fact, there's no might too, and almost certainly will. Cleans it up with a point-blank Sacred Arrow. And Miracle's still up and fighting, but not a lot of teammates around him. 25-9. Vici just continues to pile up the bodies.
Yeah, Miracle is doing everything he can to save his team from certain demise. 4-0-2 on him. He's still pretty farm, but his farm has slowed down a lot in the past few minutes just because he has to try and pick off Vici to stop them from just taking over their base. If he gets hit by arrow, he is going to die, but looks like he's still pretty safe. He has a gem. He should be good. Oh, arrow hits QQQ. Easy kill for FY.
Jumps right on top of him, and a couple of auto attacks. That'll do. Beyond godlike for FY right now. You want to talk about a solid Mirana game? Talk about 11-0-4. Lincoln's done, Tread's done, Aquila done, and 1,600 gold aside at 31 minutes in. And to be honest, it's kind of a testament to just how strong the Morphling play out of Miracle has been that this game isn't over. I mean, they have been completely in control of the pace and of the map for a long time now, but he's just scary. He's still scary.
Yeah, CTY actually has BKB now, but still only 1252 HP. That is very paltry. And Miracle, if he gets hit by arrow, he's gonna die. Oh nope, he gets back in time. He's like creating space. He's ganking. He's still farming at the same time. Miracle is their only hope for this late game. The gold still keeps increasing. Almost 20,000 favor of Vici. Roshan respawning. We don't know yet. Maybe 30 seconds to 3.5 minutes.
And the arrow came up just short of QQQ. They knew there was a ward there because
Super.
The arrow attempt before Super will end up dropping. Now they've got two caught in the cogs. Are they going to be able to get there in time to do anything about it? Two TPs will both make it back to safety. Roche is back up, by the way, in about 1.5 minutes, so a relatively short respawn timer this time. 26-10, and Rising Stars will not go quietly into the night. They're continuing to extend this game and try to give Miracle the room he needs.
Yeah, Miracle, I think he's famous for his anti-mage and Morphling, and I see why now. This Morphling having a much bigger impact than I suspected, and he's just they're actually coordinating pretty well too.
There's a mech, beautiful fissure, but Song of the Siren is there. Oh, the arrow whiffs because of the song. They're so
super to fight.
Grouped up and unable to fight off of that now. The Naga Siren is level 12, so she will have it back up in 100 seconds, give or take. ROTK trying to keep this pushed out. They have a glyph if they want to defend it. Here's another arrow that will connect. They caught King J. Fissure to try and block and prevent any counter initiation. And he's eating a lot of damage. Tyler's going to rush in, has it clips, and will use it. CTY uses his own BKB, sucking damage from the Luna. Managed to steal 84 right-click damage that time. So even though they got the arrow they wanted, not able to do a lot with it. Now continuing to pursue them out. There's a power shot that'll spot King J. No way to get to him, though. So Rising Stars.
Sneak Roshan while Miracle's not there. If he pushes left side, I think they can try and do it. But, oh, it just respawned. They are pretty fortunate. Looks like Luna's actually going to TP away. Is he going to die to Miracle? Possibly.
Miracle ducking out on the side of the woods. Let's see. Here he comes. And unable to close the distance fast enough. That prompts an immediate reaction. No one checked the Roche pit, by the way, so they have no idea is up.
Yeah, it looks like Rising Stars could take out Roshan right now. Miracle still continuing to prove a nuisance. 3,200 gold. Looks like he will pick up a Yasha into a Manta. Pretty good pickup for him. He's just so elusive, always being at good places around the map. 5, 0, and 2. I mean, contributing 7 of 10 as your carry Morphling, who was pretty much free farming for like the first 20 minutes of the game. So they're working their way up to blink on Earthshaker very slowly but surely. I think they really need that if they want to win a fight. The Razor having BKB, they'll definitely let them escape unscathed in that fight in mid.
Rising Stars hanging out on their own side of the map at this point. You look at the net worth, 15,000 for both Luna and Morphling, so they're right on par with each other. Super and FY on the Mirana playing very, very well. I mean, the Gold League, again, just continues to be quite remarkable. Not quite. Actually, no, it is still on pace. 500 gold a minute. They're continuing to build in terms of their own lead. But Rising Stars, I mean, you got to give them points for their resiliency. I mean, the way they performed in Game 2 and now how they've managed to keep this game going and give themselves the chance to win on the back of Miracle is really quite admirable. And it's showing some development in terms of their biggest weaknesses, which were and remain patience and consistency.
Yeah, they need more out of CTY. CTY is inconsistent. King J is inconsistent. Look at CTY right now, 0, 6, and 1. This is night and day difference from his Viper in game 2. King J 2 and 8, missing hook shot on a TPing target. And I mean, I still can't get over that. And he's played Clockwork 3 times, but bad game 1, great game 2, and lackluster game 3. So Rising Stars, they have the potential. They just have to hone and refine their play just so that it's just very consistent. They just need more consistency out of their players.
Rising Stars continues to move very well, preventing any gank attempts or any real movement from Vici to catch from catching.
They should
them
know
off guard.
Roshan's up right now, though. I'm pretty sure they just scouted out with a Naga Siren Illusion rocket. Flare will scout it out though as soon as they start.
Clockwork keeping an eye on things. They're going to continue to go for it. FY has Moonlight Shadow up and ready to run. If
can't contest against Naga Sleep though.
Yep.
It's too difficult.
Roche down to about a quarter health. Let's see if they're going to make any move. They are not. Just going to give it away.
Has fallen to the Radiant.
Yep, man, that is only the second Roshan. No cheese on that one. Are they going to try and force the issue? Earthshaker, if he TP's back, sells his dust and sells his magic stick, I'm pretty sure he does have his Blink Dagger, and they're really trying to help him farm it right now. It's going to be a big game changer, especially since VG will be unprepared. Sell all your things, buy your Blink Dagger.
There we go. Tier 3 very low. And there's the blink coming out, and the shotgun almost enough to bring down ROTK. They're going to engage off of this. And there's the Eclipse. Oh, they caught Miracle perfectly. Unable to do anything about the arrow. That might be all she wrote if they don't win here. The buyback forced out. That's going to set him way back. Super still up and banging away. XDD using Freezing Field and managing to pop the Aegis. Siler back up as Super drops. And there's an ensnare onto the high ground, throwing out the Lucent Beam, and the gem actually drops following the shotgun. So they did force out the buyback out of Miracle, and they did keep the they actually kept the tower up. They will go ahead and deny it. And all in all, that's really not a bad exchange going the way of Rising Stars. After they caught the Morphling, the fact that he had the buyback, I mean, that's a win for them in one way or another. But nonetheless, they keep this game going.
I think they need a BKB on Miracle so that doesn't happen. If they just initiate like that with a Song of Siren into mass BKBs into an arrow on Miracle one more time, the game's over because he won't have buyback. So he just can't afford to die at this point, and there's really nothing else he can do besides BKB. Maybe you can Manta it too, but you still have a chance of splitting into it and still getting arrowed. And QQQ with his Blink Dagger definitely clean him there. If he didn't have his Blink Dagger, Fight Night would not have gone in the way of Rising Stars.
Threatening the tier 1 mid now. There is a little bit of a reaction. Scythe of Ice complete on the Windrunner. That's going to be a nice way to deal with that Morphling.
Mm-hmm. He needs to do the instant pop Lincolns and instant sheep afterwards. Just force staff and queue up a Scythe of Ice afterwards with shift Q, and then it'll instantly pop his Lincolns and sheep him at the same time so they can kill him. He only has 1,000 HP. If they can actually catch him in a sheep before he starts morphing, he is gonzo, unless QQQ is in a fantastic position. So things are very, very risky for Rising Stars right now, but they're still keeping in the game with a 20,000 gold lead and down 18 kills and giving up 2 Roshans. They're holding up phenomenally well.
Couldn't agree with you more. Super, though, with his Assault Cuirass, BKB done, Shadowblade. We saw in that fight, he was resilient as hell. It took a buyback from the Morphling to ever have a chance of bringing him down. And they're not going to have it this time, and they know it. Moving in. Rack's going to be the target. Now, they could slow push this if they really want to. There's a fissure out, trying to make Rising Stars engage out into them. And King J just walked up.
What are you doing, bro?
Walked up and died, basically.
Walked up into Dragon Tail. Like,
yeah.
I still have no idea what King J is doing in these deaths.
It's the same problem we've said for a long time about him. On Clock, but on many other heroes as well. Like, when he's on, he's on. But when he's off, he can just show you some really goofy things that are almost inexplicable. He literally just walked right up the Dragon Tail range and died. There was nothing else he contributed there.
He was really close to his BKB too. He was like 300 gold away. It was just like sell your bracer, chill the fountain, sell your bottle, even get your BKB, and then maybe you can do that and bait out some spells. But maybe he was counting on an Earthshaker follow up with Blink. I'm just trying to find a reason as to why he would just like, oh, hey, I'm gonna walk up, guys. Maybe I'll get a lucky cog. I don't know.
Here we go. QQQ leading the pain train through the jungle. That's going to be Miracle bringing up the rear. He did go ahead and get that Manta style. I said I wanted to see him snag.
They don't expect the smoke gank because there's a couple people in mid. So looks like Windrunner may have died there. Pretty important pickoff since she just bought her sheep. No buyback for her. They still have this T1 tower in mid, 40 minutes in. And although Morphling has been split pushing here and there, he just got the T2 on top. He actually has Manta style too. Yep, backdoor easy tower for him.
And able to bring that down as you had said. Yep, picking up the Manta. He's got crazy survivability now. He really does. Deso now done on the Mirana, though. Now, that Deso's pretty big pickup in terms of bringing down some of the more tanky heroes. Like, well, I mean, at this point, CTY is really not as survivable as he would like to be.
I don't really like the Deso pickup. I think he can go Manta style and just split push with like the Manta images and BKB because he doesn't really need minus armor, but they just need to lock Morphling down. It's not a matter of getting damage on him, it's a matter of being able to lock him down, and if not, you just use the utility of Manta style, being able to split out of the Ethereal Blade. It gives you a little bit more HP too.
Nice fissure, blocking things off, at least for the moment. They can still get up high enough to bang it down at the moment. Siler hanging back while his illusions do the work. Deso reducing the armor, of course. King J hanging real close to the front again and taking damage from the low ground nonetheless.
You see those glaives just own CCY? He's at half HP before he can even get close.
Glaive changes are intense, man. Can't be by yourself. And Super going to be hooked on too. BKB's up on both sides. Super immediately blows him up. Those Siler's right there. CTY with his own BKB up. Moonlight Shadow allows him to back up. QQQ throws out the fissure. And now going to be three-shotted from the low ground. Little RNG love going the way of FY. Didn't get a miss. So he's basically shot his wad, and he's going to be back up.
Should be easy push.
Yep. And there's the Song of the Siren.
They need an arrow. Where's the arrow? Shoot the arrow.
And stunned out. Down he goes. That'll be that. XDD picked off running for the well. CTY will be ensnared right outside of it. Don't know that they have the damage to clean him up, and they don't. Diving all the way back. King J scythed out. Just being blown up now by the Deso damage. Shackle not going to match. And a Sacred Arrow just in case. QQQ coming back out. But FY just feeling nigh invincible at this point, and we can see why. We'll have his damage sucked away. Ensnare once again. And obviously the team's having a little fun. Fountain diving. GG does come out, though. And that'll be that. Vici triples up Rising Stars. And really, did Rising Stars, they extended the game.
Very well.
Yeah,
They played really well that game, actually.
I feel the same way. It's like they never really felt like they had anything but a snowball's chance, but they took that snowball's chance and gave it the best run they possibly could. You know what I mean?
That is definitely true. Miracle, he couldn't have done anything more. Maybe he could have gotten BKB. That's like the only thing that could have changed, but they just used everything on him. It doesn't matter. Like, if they kill him, the fight's over. So, poor guys. Yeah, CTY, non-factor. Earthshaker, super late blink. King J, missed hook shot on TP. XCD constantly getting caught out. So, like, Miracle is probably like, come on, team. Come on. Help me out. Throw me a bone here.
36-12, final kill score, 43 minutes, 4 seconds. The official game time. Put our second series in the books. Rising Stars unable to find that elusive first series win. And with that loss, their playoff hopes all but evaporating now. Vici Gaming, though, they improved to 3-1. And they're, again, positioned quite well to make a deep run into the playoffs, or at least to rephrase that they're positioned quite well to make a good run throughout the last bit of our Eastern Divisional play, and position themselves to come in with a decent seed in the bubble race. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Want to once again thank Nahaz Dota. I don't know if he's going to be with us for our last series of the night. He's done a great job as our stats man. And of course, thank you to Merlini. Merlini, before we recap and get moving towards our third series, you want to go ahead and drop the deets in terms of where people can find more about you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/MerliniDota. I won't be streaming as much in this upcoming week because I'll be busy casting D2L during the morning, but you can still catch me now and then there. And Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the same, /MerliniDota.
There you go. You can find our Twitter addresses right below my tiny little game right there. You can find me at AC on Twitter and at AC on Twitter and twitch.tv/ACTV. Find me on YouTube. Just look up ACTV, Facebook, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, last series of the evening is on the way now. Again, this is the HyperX D2L. We'll be right back with our third and final series of the East. Don't forget, following the conclusion of tonight's play, you're talking, 6 hours now, Conrad? Something like that? Yeah, it's going to... No, it's like 7 hours after we figure we'll finish. We'll figure like around 2, yeah. So we'll have like a 7-hour down period, 6 or 7 hours. From the conclusion of our third series. Then we kick off the West, lead things off tomorrow on the western side of the HyperX D2L. Thanks so much for being here, guys. We'll be right back with our third and final series. Stay put.